In the prior video, you heard me discuss the CNBC heuristic. In this video, it's time to apply it. I'm going to show you how when the heuristic does hit, it can really translate into some incredible trading opportunities. When I think about 2023, there were three seismic headlines that I think best met this heuristic. I want to go over how that thought process develops and what that might mean for your trading in practical terms. I think the defining headline of 2023 was on the May 24th NVIDIA earnings call. Their guidance was this epic blowout thanks to artificial intelligence and the AI boom, and there is this oh my god moment for most people in markets where everyone realized AI is real, it's here to stay, and that's what really fueled the inflection higher in the Qs, as well as NVIDIA and the semiconductors. So what happened with NVIDIA? Obviously, being on earnings after hours, that move was really, really quick. Depending on your speed, that initial move might not be tradable for you. But then, if you realized in the moment how big that headline was, and I think a lot of people, when they saw that, it was like a holy shit, this is a big deal. This is going to be all over the news. AI has come, and it's real for the earnings and margins of these businesses. What you see then is that NVIDIA had a couple of days of follow-through. But it's not just about NVIDIA. These implications also apply to the semiconductors overall. If you look at SMH, the semiconductor ETF, on the NVIDIA blowout earnings, this had a modest day one, but then we closed very strong. That's where even if you missed the initial prints, that sets up for an interesting swing position when you realize this headline is really that big. This meets my heuristic. It's relevant for day traders, relevant for swing traders, it's relevant for multiple timeframes, and it worked well enough here. We did have a couple days of continuation thereafter, and imagine how huge this headline would have been if it had occurred during market hours rather than after hours. The second huge headline of the year, and maybe even a better example, because it occurred during market hours with real liquidity, is the weed headline. On August 30th, news came out that the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services recommended that marijuana be declassified to a lower scheduled drug. The weed stocks, of course, exploded on that, using the ETF MSOS as a guide. We made this beautiful intraday move for those who were quick to act on this one. Even for the slower traders, though, the importance is recognizing that this headline is going to be the talk of every dinner conversation, every news channel. So if I'm thinking of the heuristic in the moment, I'm going to try to get even more stock than normal. That doesn't mean I don't want to listen to the chart still, but I would argue this headline is so big that even after it makes that first leg, you need to take a pause and zoom out. This headline is going to get so much airplay. Americans all over are going to get excited over this headline, and the retail trading crowd is going to eat this up with the thought of buying marijuana stocks. Then, when you combine it with the technicals, MSOS did some incredible volume in a matter of hours. That is where, when we close fairly strong on such huge volume, after the headline has only been out for a few hours, it makes for an incredible swing opportunity. The hedge funds are thinking about it, the day traders are thinking about it, your average mom and pop, or even Reddit Wall Street Bets trader is thinking about it. Sure enough, we ended up seeing many, many days of continuation, which allows for a really nice swing trade idea. Look how many days we held prior bar lows on volume for a nice, awesome chop, not getting stopped out until $8. Finally, now we will cover probably the biggest money situation of the year as far as absolute liquidity and scalability. That headline was when Bill Ackman publicly tweeted that he covered his bond short at his hedge fund Pershing Square. This was one of those situations where TLT, a bond ETF, had been absolutely wrecked. It seemed likely then, and is proven true even all this time later, that moment marked the bottom in sentiment for TLT and the beginning of more bullish sentiment. If you go big picture, this tweet created the literal bottom for what was a 15% move in TLT, which is crazy. That's the whole bond market moving. When we look at this intraday, Not only could you have caught some beautiful legs, but this is one of those where if you start to realize how broadly the headline is going to be rebroadcasted, this is on Twitter, and this is going to take time to be disseminated, but this is going to be huge. This is going to be talked about on CNBC, this is going to be on Bloomberg, this is going to be on Reuters. This headline is going to be everywhere, and every hedge fund and trader is going to be talking about it. It's one of those situations where you can get extra size and play it both intraday and big picture. Maybe that means you're more eager to get back in on that second leg. Maybe it means you're going to hold some exposure to lows and do a daily swing. Or if on the sideline studying this, like right now, maybe it simply means you're going to just say, okay, I'm going to run a study and see when trades meet my CNBC heuristic, how often do they close higher than where I can get them, and how far on average do these trend? There are a lot of creative ways to think about this and structure plays for your system. As always though, trading is never deterministic. Meeting this heuristic doesn't mean any given play will work. But I found that with practice, this is a useful tool for me and my news trading. I would argue these are the 0.001% of headlines that this heuristic is seeking to identify, and then you have a thought-out plan for what the implications will be when it's met. You have a plan for how that's going to influence and affect your trading decisions because yes, it might only be the 0.001% of headlines, but these are the headlines that can make your year if you develop that awareness and consciousness in real time.